Welcome to another real estate investing and real estate agent video. I haven't done one for a while, so I figured I better get another video posted. Today I want to talk about real estate agents, how much money they can expect to make in their first year. Now, it's very tricky being a real estate agent. Many agents don't make much money at it. That's just the facts. And it's not so much because you can't make money as a real estate agent. It's more of the statistics are very misleading because of how the industry is. So, for example, the average income for all agents is around $40,000, give or take a few thousand, depending on what year you look at and what source you look at. That's not a whole lot of money. It's not bad, but it's not a whole lot of money for the average of an industry. If you look at other industries, many are much higher, but there's some huge factors you have to consider when looking at real estate agents. One is there are so many part-time agents. Most agents, I don't know most, but many agents are part-time. They just don't put in the hours. And if you don't put in the hours, you're not going to make as much money. And those part-time agents drag down the numbers for everybody else. So even though the average income is $40,000 for all agents, that's not the average income for full-time agents. The average income for full-time agents is much more, probably in the $50,000 range, maybe even a little higher. But that's when we're talking about experienced agents, not just an agent in their first year. There's so much to consider before you become a real estate agent. What you're going to make your first year, what's going to cost you your first year, how long it's going to take before you make any money. You have to be very careful, plan your future very well. So there aren't many statistics available as far as what an agent makes in their first year. The last thing I found was from 2006, and their statistics was about $15,000 is the average income for a first-year agent. That's almost 10 years ago, so that data obviously is not up to date, but I wouldn't be surprised if the average income for a first-year full-time agent is around $20,000, $25,000 a year. And that seems like a really small number, but when you're becoming a real estate agent, you're basically starting a business from scratch. Most agents, they're not working on a team, they're working on their own, and it takes a while to build up any type of business. It doesn't matter what it is. When you first get started, it's going to take time to sell houses. Now, I wrote an article about how much money you need to save before you become a real estate agent, and really, my thoughts are you should have 6 months in living expenses saved up if you possibly can, because there's no guarantees when your first check is going to come, and you're also going to be spending money on marketing, on getting your license, on office fees, on desk fees. Now, there's a lot of different things you have to spend money on. You're not going to have any money coming in, and for people who don't save any money, who don't have a cushion, it's very stressful, and they leave the business very quickly if they don't sell houses right away. Having said that, I know agents who have started with nothing, no savings, and done very well, but it's something to think about when you get started. We had an agent who joined our team about a year and a half ago. He actually did really well at the beginning, but he had no money saved up, none. Unfortunately, he had to quit our team, go get a job that paid a steady salary because he was just out of money, could not make it because he had no cushion, no backup. Now, I don't think you have to consider $20,000 the maximum amount of money you're going to make your first year. Now, the reason I say that is I've had 2 agents on my team who both made over $100,000 their first year. Now, that's not typical. Don't expect to make that much money your first year, but it's possible. And there's a few things, a few reasons why I think those agents did so well. One thing is they were very prepared. So before they even got their license, they were, prospecting for clients, talking to their friends, talking to their family. They're getting a plan together so that once they got their license, they could go full speed ahead. There wasn't much of a learning curve because they're doing all the work, all the research, building the business while they're getting licensed before they actually got their license. Secondly, they join my team, not saying that my team is the greatest in the world, but joining a team just cuts your learning curve so much because you have someone who's been in the industry, who's in your marketplace, who's been selling houses for a while. If they have a team, they've probably been working for a while, and can teach you how to get started, what things to do, where your time will be spent, the wisest, where your money will be spent the wisest. It's a huge help to be able to join a team. Not everybody can do that, but it's something to consider. I was actually surprised myself how much money they made, because I was assuming that they'd be lucky to make $50,000 if everything went perfectly. That's kind of my thoughts. Everything looks great. They sell some houses. $50,000 would be awesome. And to see them do so well really kind of blew me away. I was like, wow, that was crazy. And I do know some other agents in the area, not in my office, not on my team, who have done just as well in their first year. And really, they've got a plan, they've got goals, they're just going at it full force right from the very beginning. Now, of course, a few tips on what to do. Open houses are awesome. All the open houses you can do are a great way to meet buyers. Floor duty, if your office has it. Talk to anybody, everybody you can. Start making your database as soon as you can. Keep track of all your friends, family, clients, business partners, anybody. Market to them. Concentrate on the people you know first. Don't spend all your money on different lead sources and trying to get internet leads. Internet leads are like a shiny object that so many agents try to chase. I think this last statistic I saw showed that 1 out of 1,000 internet leads ends up closing. 1 out of 1,000. So you may be getting 100 internet leads a month. You might close 1 the entire year from that based on those statistics. And the reason is they have no loyalty to you. They don't know who you are. And 3/4 of them probably aren't even serious. They're probably never going to buy or sell a house in the next 2 years. So concentrate on the people you know, your friends, family. They're the ones who will be loyal to you. They have a reason to stick with you, and if you do good for them, they'll refer people back to you. So, reasonable to make $100,000 your first year as an agent? Probably not. That's probably a little bit high for most people. $20,000, probably pretty low, unless you're trying to go part-time, work another job, and you're just doing it on the side. I think if you really go at it hard, you do things right, plan your business before you get your license, $40,000, maybe $50,000 is not a bad figure to have in your head for how much money to make your first year. If you really push it, you really go at it hard, you could get $100,000. Not saying it's impossible, but you really have to work hard and have things in place to do that. Now, if you're at all interested in some help, I do offer some coaching. My 6-figure real estate agent success system is available on my site, invest4more.com. Comes with personal coaching from me, so always glad to help people out. And as always, got over 400 free articles on the blog now. So check it out. Thanks for watching.